Thank you. So good afternoon, all the participants. Wish you all a very happy and healthy New Year 2022. It is January, the month considered to be one with high energies and soaring spirits. And as it is the beginning of a new phase, and it is quite evident with the huge participation today. One of the reasons for this large gathering is that Jan 2022 also marks a new beginning for the CB fraternity. Today's webinar, as we all know, is on one of the topics which is our lifeline as we deal with classification on a daily basis. As WCO has effected some changes in the harmonized system nomenclature classification, and we all are eager here to learn. I hereby take this opportunity to request our Senior Vice President, Mr. Dushyant Bulani, to welcome all our panelists and the participants and take the webinar forward. Dushyant bhai.
Yes, good afternoon all. Wishing each one of you a very happy new year, happy, prosperous and a peaceful new year with good health. Friends, we are here today primarily to understand the new changes which have been effected by WCO, World Customs Organization. And now, as we all know that these changes which have been made in the HSN classification are at a particular level. But for us, at having its grounding at cutting edge level, how it affects us, how do we deal with it, and what are the measures we employ in case of any disputes which arise. So that is what we are going to understand today from none other than Mr. Joshua Abenza. He has been a legend in the industry and a legal luminaire who has a vast, more than 3 decades of experience in indirect taxation. I particularly thank our President, Mr. Kiran Rambia, for conceptualizing this program. In fact, all of us wanted this to be held earlier, but Kiran Bhai is known for his vast experience, prevailed upon us, told us that let's hold it in the first week. Let us understand what are the difficulties being faced by our members, so that based on his guidance, we have conceptualized this entire member-centric program. The inputs from each center, the managing office bearer and managing committee team have very wonderfully provided us the feedback. The moot question which was coming up, that how do we deal with it? How do custom brokers advise their importers? How do they deal with any disputes? And most importantly, fortify against any future claims as far as possible. It's a vast subject, and we have a best speaker here with us today in the industry. So I would request our President, Mr. President BCBA, Mr. Kiran Rambia. So Kiran Bhai, request you to please do honors with your address. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon and welcome, Mr. Joshua Abenza, advocate and consultant, a board of advisors, seniors, committee members, and members of the association. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish all of you a happy new year. And friends, we all witnessed in last few years the changes are there, and India is growing at a speed. We are facing a local procedures also, and custom is one of that, is introducing one after one fantastic changes. since we are a custom broker and we should be well updated with each and every changes, may it be with the tariff of duty or exim policy or any new notifications, any circulars, whatever it is. If we are updated, if we are knowledgeable, we can run the exim business smoothly. Our importer and exporters are always depend on us. So it is our duty to keep ourselves well updated, and it is your association. We are trying our best to provide you time to time a webinar or seminar or any knowledge series released on emails and etc. This time, gentlemen, we have seen that HSN changes are there, implemented from 1st of January 2022. All of us wants to know about it. What are the implications? Any changes will affect for claiming the notifications? What will happen to the notification if it is there in an old HSN and now it is converted into new? We have a number of questions. And at the same time, our clients, whether importers or exporters, are asking, and we should provide them the correct answer. So for each and everything, our knowledge should be there at par. So this time, we have eminent advocate and consultant, Mr. Joshua Abenzer, who will guide us about the changes in HSN and importance of the classification of the goods. So this is the today's webinar for. At the same time, I would request all of you to follow the COVID safety measure and some information that we have requested all three customs, all three zones for issue as an email ID, a group wise and a section wise, so our member can address the issues online instead of visiting custom houses for a smaller thing. We have also requested steamer companies for not to insist for physical copy of documents in case of telex release consignments. So thank you, gentlemen. At the time, each and every time, we will keep ourselves meeting on this webinar for a different subjects. I also request if anybody have any suggestions or something, please do write to us and we will work on it. Thank you very much. Over to Nirav for further proceeding. Dear Nirav.
Thank you, Kiran Bhai, for addressing our audience today and giving assurances on various aspects. And we all definitely look forward to these webinars. As we all are eagerly waiting for Joshua sir to start his presentation, I would request Joshua sir to kindly take over and begin with the session, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Nirav. Good afternoon to everyone who's present. This new year is going to be an immense time for us. It's going to keep us busy in many ways. So one among the important thing for us to begin with is HS amendments as well. So first of all, I would like to thank Kiran Bhai, Dushyant, and all the committee members, the BCBA fraternity. Though I am not new to you, I'm one among you, but I always cherish when I get an opportunity to speak to BCBA, because I always address this community as mighty warriors. I still hold that, because no other fraternity can do such knowledge work than this particular fraternity. They can claim, but still this is one fraternity which I came from, which I love to engage with you and to impart whatever that I could to make sure that this fraternity stands out in the market, in the supply chain. So this afternoon, we have some limited time, so we will be doing some presentation on the recent HS code amendments. So let me begin with that. May I request 2 volunteers for me, which I usually ask for, from the audience side or from the panelist side. If I ask, I can't be talking to a wall all the time. So if I ask, what do you think, Nirav? So Nirav or Tej can respond. Likewise, if I get some audience from the side as well to respond, it will be good. I don't know how that is possible. Nirav can see to it.
Yeah, Sasha sir, actually the audience will not be in the position to participate in between. So, but Tej, me, Dushan bhai, Paresh bhai, Hiren bhai, we all are here, Sanjeev sir.
Yeah.
Hopefully that could work out as a audience for you.
Yeah, I understand. Thanks for that. I understand the limitation. Thank you so much. So we will continue to do in that way. Thank you for being my audience as well. And when usually I always wanted to put one disclaimer before I could start. Since I hailed up from South India, my Hindi may not be that good. So please do not expect me to speak in Hindi. If I speak, you will not be able to understand. So please pardon me for that. Maybe if some of you are speaking Marathi or Hindi and if you definitely need some information, please reach out to me. I can still convince you by speaking in my own Hindi, and I will try my level best to help you in that. Okay, with this pretext, we will move inside in today's session. All right. I also wanted the audience to help me use a scribbling pad or a notebook. Take down those points. The best way, see here, I'm not talking to you that I have an opportunity, I'm here, I'm speaking, and I'm forgetting about you. No, my objective is that please understand, I am training the trainers, all people, I don't know how many people you are. If you are 100 plus, imagine you supposed to go and speak to your importers and exporters and to your colleagues, for which you need information. You can't run my presentation. Definitely this will be shared with you. You can't run this presentation and talk. You need to have your own notes. So irrespective of your levels in the company, you may be a owner or you may be a manager level person. It doesn't matter. Please keep a note and pad and take notes slowly. So prepare yourself as if that you're going to replicate this presentation to somebody else. To that level, equip yourself. Then in next 1 or 2 hours, we will be achieving our objective. I hope you will be nodding what I'm saying. Okay, let's move forward. Today's mandate is going to be like this. I was taught like this. When you want to understand, maybe early days when GST came in, my seniors in the earlier firm in which that I was working, they taught me this. Any concept that you need to understand, or any changes that we need to understand, we need to ask this question: what is it, why this, and when this happened, where it happened, who has done it, and how this has happened. If you can get this answer for these questions, if you are able to get correct information for this question by way of an answer, believe me, you got it. You got what you want. So today what we are going to do, the topic is HS 2022 amendment, which is 7th edition. And today we are going to understand that. I am sure 100% every one of you would have read enough information from the website, from all the WhatsApp groups. So by now you are familiar with it. So today in this context, we are going to place our information to make sure that we are everything adequately filled in. Some of you in this group may say, yes, I know everything, probably well and good. So make sure that you align your information in these buckets. Some of you may say, we have read that correlation table, we have read everything, but still we are not able to, there are some confusions. We will get that clarified. Remember, it is 100 pages. We are not going to deal with all 100 pages, but we are going to see 1 or 2 pages as to how that you need to read the remaining 98 pages. Okay. So here you are a service provider, you are a consultant, you are having a vast audience, import and export, and you need to go and address these matters to them. All right. So with this context, we will move to the first what it is. Now this slide, the first slide, which I'm showing here, some of you would have heard me in the past, and many of you are maybe new to this forum. Remember, as a customs broker or an expert of customs, if anyone in the industry, if he says that I am very good in HS codes, but not having knowledge on valuation that much or rules of origin, probably it's time for you to take a relook on your thinking process. Everyone who claims to be a customs broker, in my view, at least in this year, you need to master it. And it is not difficult. Mastering is not difficult. All of you may be knowing, I came from a Christian faith. Though I born in a Christian family, I never practiced it. Because all the while what I was hearing is, if you become a religious person, you need to leave all these things, you need to do a lot of things, you should be doing that, this. It's always a to-do list, which irritates you, and you will never want to do that. But when you open the real scripture, when you read it, it doesn't demand anything. It only says you believe the finished work and you are saved. So I did that a few decades ago. What contrast which I wanted to show to you here is the world, the religious people, the so-called learned people, where they are confused and they will confuse others. Only when you get in and understand, you will get a clarity. It is not confusion, it is a cakewalk, it is a joy. Just to motivate you, 6 years back when I joined a law firm, during the lunchtime, I was sitting in the ground floor along with two of another advocates, and we were just sitting and talking like anybody else. Mr. Sridharan walked down from top, he's going out somewhere. He just looked at it. We were saying good afternoon to him. He started scolding us. Directly these words. What are you doing and wasting your time here? What are you doing and wasting your time? Believe me, it's a lunchtime. Beneath our office, we are just sitting and just talking for 10-15 minutes. He doesn't want us to sit there and waste the 15 minutes. Lunch ho gaya na? Go back and read something. The world is in that kind of a food. And that time I was irritated. When I heard that, I got really irritated. Maybe if it is getting recorded also, it's okay. But you need to acknowledge. But today I know what kind of a passion that man had for the subject. I want every custom broker to have that passion. If you have 1 hour, open the book and read. If possible, the screen which I have showed you, print it and put it in front of you. And every day you ask a question, am I an expert on HS? Am I an expert in valuation? Am I an expert in rules of origin? For example, today in the country, any child will say, who is the expert in rules of origin? Mr. Sudhakar Kasturi. Okay, I don't know how many of you know this gentleman. People will say, government office will say, can they say this particular custom broker, they are the expert for rules of origin? So and so, Dushyant is known for valuation. Can somebody say Tej contractor is known for HSN? How do you create that branding? If you fail to do that in this time, you will never be able to do it. So I have put in the web link, WCO Trade Tools. Please go there. And a few days back, I was addressing another seminar. People started asking questions as if that they come to know about all these amendments last week only. It is there for months together. It is there. HS Committee 68, the committee report has been published in 2019. What amendment today we are talking, it's not new. 22, 3 years back, it is mooted. So we need to read that. What message is going to the committees and what decision that they are taking. And we need to be abreast on this. If not now, at least get ready for the next 5 years. All right. So another confusion which prevails in the fraternity is we are talking about WCO. And often we get the word WTO. We say trade facilitation agreement coming from WTO. There AEO is coming, audit is coming, and we are talking about WCO. What is the relevance between these two? See, all of you know from when 1947, you can tell stories. but at least administratively as a broker, because importers are not aware, you're supposed to know and educate them. For that purpose, I'm sharing this information. Take it down. HSN, I showed you 3 pillars. Okay. If you master this 3 pillar, globally you can work. You are the number 1 sort of person. And if you don't do this, somebody else will come into the shoes in the name of consultants, in the name of advocates, and they will take your share. They will be supporting the industry. Better you move out from transaction related work and start looking into these things from now on. Earlier it was an option. Now you don't have an option. You have no excuses. You have to be on the toe because your importers will be asking you what happened. Please understand this. HSN is a baby of WCO. They maintain it. You can't even add one line without their consent. It's their baby. Full control, 100% belongs to WCO, known to all of us. But on the contrary, valuation and origin doesn't belong to WCO. They only administer the technical aspects. Have you understood? For example, we say when you write GATT declaration, right? What is GATT? We always give a declaration early days called GATT declaration. GATT is an article under WTO, right? And when you write something under that, but that is administered by WCO, technical aspects. We are not going to talk about that today in this session, but just for your understanding, I thought I can just clarify this. All right. I'm sure till now you're all with me. Nirav, you are my audience, so I need to ask. Nirav, Tej, how are you? Till now, you're all with me. Any doubts?
Perfect.
Perfect. So you're speaking on behalf of those hundreds of people. All right.
There is one more option, Joshua sir. In case you want to ask any question specific as a poll, Tej will run a poll for members and they will put in their votes.
Then you need to stay back with me till 6 o'clock if you're okay with that. I don't want to hold you back, I'm sure. Thank you for the suggestion. Maybe next time when we do some kind of a classroom work, we will do it. Wonderful. All right. So all you people take screenshots. This presentation will be with you, no doubt about it, but you write it down. You understand. When you speak to your customers, you need to speak with such a clarity and authority. Okay. And they will be loving you. All right. Now, amendments have come in. Why this amendment? The second question. I said, the second question we need to ask. Why this amendment? Amendments though, 2007 there was an amendment. We never had a seminar. 2012 we had an amendment. We never had any buzz around us. 2017 also we got an amendment. So every 5 years we see there is a constant amendment is happening. But this time there are 351 amendments. What was the reason? Number one, it's for you, also for your clients. There are new technologies are evolving. We never knew that these many technologies are evolving. Believe me, you have a mobile phone. There is an amendment which has come in. Electronic fabric, electronic textile, electric textile, right word. You keep your mobile phone on your pocket, the phone will get charged automatically. Can you believe the way crazily innovations are taking place? And these innovations forcing customs, like how long back in 2000 when multifunction printer came, we don't know where to classify. It is a printer, HP says, Canon or Xerox says it's a photocopier, whether to treat it as fax machine or scanner or output unit or photocopier. Nobody knows about it. There were a lot of disputes. HP created as printer with ITA benefit, zero duty. Another person came and filed it in 90 chapter and paid duty. Customs wants HP to pay duty. Matter went to Commissioner Conference, WCO. Finally, it came into 8479 residual for a while. Then they got a birth in 8443 as printer. Okay. So imagine when you worked in early 2000s, probably this would have been an issue. When we see dot matrix printer, when we see laser jet, when we saw multifunctional printer, we do not know where to classify. They applied every rules for interpretation, but still they couldn't find an answer to it. Likewise, new products are coming out. Number two, environmental and social concerns. There are so many conventions that we were party to it. We went and told that we will comply to it. India is party to many conventions. So you have no other option to make the changes. For we will be seeing when we see Montreal conventions and all, we will be seeing that. Third one, low trade volume. You heard about it, low trade volume. They say WCO had a threshold. Okay, I'll show it in the next slide. they have a threshold, low trade volume or low volume trade, whatever the way that you can call it as. If a heading, you are a broker, so I'm not going to talk about what is heading, subheading. Heading means 4-digit heading. If a 4-digit heading needs to stay in the first schedule, that should have at least $100 million worth of global trade. If that is not there, then it doesn't have the merit to be there. If it is a subheading, at least $50 million global trade has to happen with that heading. If that is not happening, better remove it. Of course, exceptions will be there for the following reasons, which I have mentioned. Suppose if you are party to a convention, even though it is dipping down below the threshold, still you need to retain it. Okay? So these are the reasons. So when you may be surprised. Oh, really? I never heard about this threshold. Okay, yes, there are some items deleted. Amendments means some comes in, some goes out. Okay, in both ways. So what are those deleted items? I'm just showing it to you on the screen. You can verify your LHS, your left-hand tariff is old, your right-hand tariff is new. In the new tariff, you will not see these entries. Tej, Nirav, are you with me? Any
Yes,
questions?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Thank you. With this, we are now going to the next question. When this happened? This is what I started. The entire fraternity just woke up and they were just thinking some new amendments have come in. You know, we need to acknowledge, not all, at least some, that lackluster culture. We have so many things in the plate, you know. We always talk about it, but it was there. Convention, International Convention, Harmonized Commodity Description. This has been concluded midway 2019 itself. If you go to website, probably I will show you now during the course of discussion how the 68th convention concluded, how many amendments were made, how explanatory notes were amended, how the compendium were issued. So probably when you see all those things, your eyes will be opening. Oh my God, all the while I was just looking into Nhava Sheva, Mumbai Air Cargo and port. We never had time to sit and read all those things. So definitely you should keep your eye open so that you don't miss the bus in the next 5 years. So this has come into force only this week, but this is already there. The draft was already there. I will also explain you how this moved on. Since we agreed in the first place, WCO has done it. So WCO has a working party, they have a review subcommittee, they have a scientific committee. Today, you're all custom brokers. When you handle certain machinery, complex machinery, what do the customs officer do? He will mark the bill of entry to a machinery expert. If there are some scientific items, they will refer this matter to IITs, they will refer the matters to scientists, right? So WCO has these kind of subcommittees. So any matters which is coming in, it is being deliberated, it is being discussed. They have a certain meticulous process to receive. I'll show you this in the coming slides, if possible. Okay. There is one slide which I kept it. Okay. This slide. This will help you to understand. There is a secretariat which receives the proposal from various sources. For example, during the HP time, when multifunction printers, what did happen when the commissioners are all gathered? They said, okay, time being, you classify it under a residual heading 8479. And they wrote it to WCO. So there is a proposal going from Indian government to WCO Secretariat. So Secretariat started getting all these matters for review subcommittee. So review subcommittee considering those proposals, and they will make necessary amendments and they will send it to HS committee. HS committee collects all the amendments and they will prepare the draft. So we always say, who does this work? HS committee. So HS committee's work is this, and then it will be submitted to the council for recommendation. That completion of work had happened 28 June 2019. Okay. Then it is circulated to all the members, and the members to get a no objection, and some of the people they opined, and then several corrigendums were also issued. Okay. So this is how you have to see how this happened the last 5 years, how things had happened. Another thing, okay, WCO also has a lot of instruments because their whole purpose, what is WCO? It's a non-intergovernmental body, works to increase the efficiency and effectiveness of customs. If customs is meticulous, then you and me will be supporting. We are also part of customs, right? So they have a lot of instruments. One of the instruments, the first one is International Convention on Harmonized Commodity Description and Coding System. That is what we are going to talk about it. If you see the second convention, Kyoto, revised Kyoto talks about all this TFA, ATA Carnet, Arusha Declaration, integrity related, safe framework, and Columbus program. A few examples which I'm showing. So today, if you see this first convention, WCO has, you need to be very clear, contracting parties, this word that we need to remember. Generally, we say, okay, there are 200 countries, so everybody are party to it, 98% of the trade works through WCO, that is all fine. So 211 economies are there, but the contracting parties are 158, which you need to keep in mind. So our discussion, wherever I mention parties, members, it's 158, not economies, it's 158 parties. So what are the obligations for the contracting parties? These are the obligations. Basically, what they're saying, till this point, you have no right, which means you need to use all the headings, subheadings together with the related numeric codes. You need to follow the rules for interpretation, all the section notes, chapter notes, and subheadings. What mistakes we see today? Importers or customs officer, both are making mistakes. Today, what courts are doing, they are reversing that mistake. For example, a customs officer, out of greediness, they say this item will go here only, according to Rule 2B or Rule 2A or Rule 3A or C. As a broker, have we ever countered the customs officer saying that you, learned officer, the application of your mind is incorrect for the following reason? Have we ever done that? Because we fail to do that, we are accepting whatever ONO is giving, whatever objections that we are giving, the courts are going back and nailing them down. And the courts are saying, you mindless quasi-judicial officer, please relook into it. What is DINOVA? He is pushing it back, saying that you have not considered. For a simple matter, all of you are very familiar with rules for interpretation. It is only such a big book is governed by 1 page of 6 rules. Rule number 1 says, if you find solution elsewhere, don't come here. That is all rule number 1. All of we read. What do we read? We read the first one, this and this is given only for guidance purpose, reference purpose. For legal purpose, this needs to be seen. And then we just move to rule 2 directly. We conveniently leave the last line. It is only 3.5 lines. Out of 3.5 lines, we read 2 lines thoroughly. And the third line and the last line, we don't read. That says you can't even touch rules for interpretation if you find there is clarity given under section notes, chapter notes, subheading notes, directive notes, or, okay, I'll stop here, directive notes. We can also use the word conclusive notes. We'll stop here, directive notes. If anywhere there is a guidance given outside, don't ever dare to come and touch rules for interpretation. We fail, customs officers are failing. So many case laws are built around that. Whenever we get a chance to read rules for interpretation workshop, we will go into deep, and I can show you under each rule how Supreme Court came back and blasted the people for their non-application of mind. All right, coming back. So up to 6 digits, you cannot do anything. Of course, for a commercial reason or for national security reason, you can hide this. Otherwise, you need to make it public. India needs to make it public. We have done it, which is also Trade Facilitation Agreement, Article 1, which also says that you need to make it public. So we have done it. Okay. So this under Article 16 came into force. Contracting parties obligation. Okay. So contracting parties means you should not think, oh, 200 plus. It is only 150 plus contracting parties. This we have seen it. Now, the background which I told you, the preamble of this convention is to keep up to date. Technologies are keep on every 6 months, products are getting obsolete. When anything is not, when any smart startups are coming out with some new inventions, everything is being considered. Technology change is very, very important. And a change in the pattern of international trade. So the trade, certain items are just booming, certain items are just dipping. So wherever it is not meeting the threshold, that is going out. And based on the needs of the users. All right. Every 5 years, this is happening. This convention is happening. Now we have done all the stories. Now we are coming into the amendments. Here, as I told you, 1,000 amendments are there. If I start taking one, and I'm explaining, most of you will get bored because for some it is relevant and for some it may not be relevant. So I have just flashed first one. When you open it, you will see this as an amendment. Insects, all of you will know, insects is alive as well as non-living insects. Okay, it's a preserved one also, which will be fit for human consumption to eat. So what they have done, they redrafted the headings. Wherever I use the word heading, 4 digits should come into your mind. So 0410 has been a new heading inserted with a nomenclature of insects. Nirav, you are with me?
Yes, you are there, sir.
Nirav,
Right.
please, how many contracting parties are there? And how many economies are there?
211 and 158.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. So thank you, audience. So which means Tej is speaking for 100 people. Very good. So 100 people are listening to me. All right. So if you see, I have shown you one item, insects. Okay. Now, all of you would have opened this document in the website. The moment you open it, it is a PDF file. It runs into scroll. So your mouse may not be staying in one place. So you just scroll up and down and finally you say, "Arey yaar, kitna amendment, A, B, C, D and all. We have enough things to be mindful." And you are not able to practically focus there for more than 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Okay. Today, you're all here. And please understand how meticulously they have beautifully designed for any layman to understand. Okay. 2 alphabets. Okay. We remember you are a capable person to remember the entire tariff. You ask, you just say it in your fingertips. You know the nomenclature, you know the chapters, you know the notification. How much easy for you to remember these 2 letters? You are going to rock by understanding this simple. It's not algorithm also. It is a simple understanding. Yes. Yes means it's identical. First alphabet, yes is identical, which means no change. First of all, you need to remember 2 things. All of you have, Tej, you have a left hand and a right hand.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Whenever you get any old item, where in which hand you would like to keep?
Whenever I get any
old item, you have 2 mobile phones. When your new mobile phone comes, in which hand you will keep? When your old mobile phone, in which hand you will keep?
my old one, I will keep in my right hand, and my new one I'll keep in my left hand.
Okay, very good. So you're a lefty, looks like. Okay, let's go back to Nirav. Nirav, if you get an old item, in which hand you will keep? If you get a new item, in which hand you will keep?
I'll keep the new one in the right hand. I use the right one. New one, I'll use it more frequently. I'll keep it in the right hand.
Very good. So here, the WCO is asking you to do the same thing. If you have 2 tariffs, take the old tariff and keep it in your left hand. That is December tariff. Take the new tariff and keep it in the right hand. You may say the new tariff is not there physically. So we are talking about an intangible discussion. So physically it will come out to the market. So you keep 2 things. So what is there in your left hand, Nirav? Old tariff.
Yeah.
What is in your new hand?
The new tariff.
Absolutely right. So that is what they say, LHS and RHS. So when we read, always this should be there in your mind, left, right combination. Now we will see the first alphabet. I have 2 tariffs. Maybe Nirav, you keep your hand like, where is your face? You need to show your video. You are my audience, then you need to show your face. Tej also. So keep your hand like this. In your left hand, you have old tariff. In your right hand, now you read this. First one, alphabet. Yes, please read, Nirav.
Hold on. I'm not able to view it very clearly, but
Okay, no problem. Tej, can you read it? He has a sharp eye.
So alphabet S coverage is identical and can be
Hand
correlated.
like this, it's like, hello, wait. If you keep your hand like this, it's like a samyar. You're blessing people. So please keep your hand like this because your tariff has to sit on your hand. Yeah, very good. Audience needs to be very
Coverage
diligently follow instructions. Okay.
S coverage is identical and can be correlated 1:1.
First, it's very simple. There is no change. This hand and this hand, no change. Is it? Yes. Okay. So we have understood. Yes. The second one, D. Nirav cannot read.
yeah,
Okay,
I can read now. I have just
Okay. Please read D.
D says coverage differs and
Hmm.
scope is either widened or shrunk.
Is it hard for you to understand? Do you need an explanation for this? There will be some big, some small, but
Yeah.
something is different. Something is differing. It is not same. That's all. So D means differ. Okay, remember. Okay, N means new boss. Very clear. It is not here. It is here. This has only iPhone 12 has something missing, 3 lens. This has 4 lens, something like that. What is not here, it is there, new. First alphabet is clear. Okay, now look at my face. Look at the camera. Don't look at the screen. And say, Nirav, what does S stands for?
S stands for, it remains the same. There is no difference.
Very good. Tej, what does D stands for?
Where the coverage or scope has widened.
Very good. So which means there is some change that we can expect. Okay, N stands for altogether a new item. Very good. So alphabet 1 is clear. Let's go to alphabet 2. Why did you drop your tariff? Please, it is required now very much.
It
Okay.
was too heavy.
It was too heavy. Right?
Yeah.
All right.
So
So
F.
please read Nirav F.
Okay. So F indicative remarks is tariff entry at RHS is fully covered within the tariff entry at LHS.
Please interpret.
So here it says that whatever is in the new tariff, it completely covers whatever was there in the older tariff.
Absolutely right. So there is no change. Whatever is there in the old, it's also there. Absolutely right. Very good. Tej, please read P, second alphabet, P.
Tariff entry at RHS is only partially covered within the tariff entry at LHS.
There is one
Another-
word is only partially covered within the entry of LHS. In other words, tariff entry of this new RHS is covered by more than one tariff entry. When you say tariff entry, they have used the word tariff entry. We should remember tariff item. How many digits?
6, 8.
In,
Okay,
Hmm.
you are close. Okay, so for the benefit of audience, chapter, how many heading? How many heading chapter means?
so they are typing in the chat.
No,
Everyone's
no,
typing.
no. Or me, I don't. I only want you. Chapter means 2. Heading means
4.
4,
4. Subheading means
6,
6. Tariff item means
8.
absolutely right. So here we are talking about if there are going to be right RHS, LHS may more than one tariff item. Got it? Which means 8-digit level, there is going to be more. Now we understood what is S. We understood what is, we understood what is first alphabet and we understood what is second alphabet. Now the correlation starts. You take S, now you can keep your tariff down. You take S and you take F. Both are saying no change. So wherever you see a word SF, close your eyes, there is no change. Wherever you see SF, no change. Okay. First we will explain serial number 6, then we will come to the actual tariff. Wherever you see D and F, D stands for differs on the scope slightly. Okay. And F stands for differs on
Fully
the
covered.
scope. But here fully covered, which means there is no change. NF stands for, N stands for new. Altogether it's a new. And F stands for fully covered. D stands for differ, and it's going to be 8 digits level changes. Again, N stands for new, and it is P. It's going to be 8 level changes. Okay, so practically, this serial number 6, with the words you will not be able to remember. So you need to see it practically with one number. All right. Till now you are clear. Before going to 6, we will do it a practical demonstration. Till now you are clear. So why I say this? When you speak to your importers, you can't be opening this PowerPoint. It should be there in your mind. You should by heart it. So SDN, FP should, the moment close your eyes and say S means it's identical. D means slightly differ. N means new. That should be there in your fingertips. So please stand before the mirror and practice. Practice. For importer, it's information. For you, it is bun and bread. Like Kiran Bhai started, customs tariff is your bun and bread. And if we don't memorize this, what else we are going to memorize? And life may one time we have an opportunity to memorize and impress your customers. So please do that. All right, now we'll come back to the tariff correlation code. Now, I had flashed and wanted Tej and the audience to see 0208 1990 in your left-hand side. 0208 1990. 1990 means automatically what comes in your mind? It's going to be others. Now, they have retained in the new tariff 0208 1990 with the code DF. What does it mean? Please.
This coverage differs but to one entry in the LHS.
Correct. So they say there is a differ, there is going to be widening or shrunk. So here it is widened. So one line item has been widened to 4 line items. So we fulfilled the first criteria of D. The second one is F. What they're saying is, though it is widened, I have not changed anything 1990. 1990 will remain like that only. Now you have 3 new items. Let us see how these 3 new items taken an effect next screen. Right. So first, please read. All of you are familiar, no? Section notes. Section 1 covers chapter 1 to 5. Then the section 2 covers chapter 6 to another next 9 chapters. Okay, so those things are already there in your mind. Let us go and see. Till now, are you with me? Any doubts?
Yes.
Very good. You are speaking on behalf of the country. Okay, so you can ask, you can assume and you can ask questions also if need be the case, since they could not speak. So here, if you see the note, what note you are reading? Are you reading section note or are you reading chapter note? Could you please tell me?
Chapter.
Very good. So you are reading chapter notes. Section note will not be in chapter 2. It will be in chapter 1. Okay. So we are reading chapter notes. So when you read, you should say chapter 2B. What is written there? A new insert has come inside. It says edible non-living insects going out from this category. What was our focus? Insects. So they are saying now they are splitting what is living and what is non-living. So non-living, they are moving to directly chapter 4. You are with me?
Yes.
So now you see in this tariff, in the RHS, 02, what was the item that we were contemplating? 0208. Now you see 0208 1990. It is remaining as other. Can you see that in the second
Yes.
portion? All right. So now let us see the new tariff. The new tariff where they have brought in a new heading itself. 0410, 1 dot has been inserted. Under that you see insect. So 1 dash is having insect. So you see 3 dashes below that very clearly amplified. So if you as a broker, everybody are not dealing with all the product. So you choose your product and you understand the code and apply the code and read it. And you will be able to see what changes have been made. And beautifully, they have highlighted all the changes in red color for our easy understanding. Tej, will you be able to do this for all your importers and exporters if need be the case?
Yes.
Very good. So is there any confusion in this?
No.
All right, very good. Now we will go to the question, how this has happened. Okay, so mushrooms, probably those people who are dealing with it, not many people are in chapter 7, pines and nets, all these are all new amendments, cherry, fishery. If you see, I just put in some reasons. Okay, amendments are coming, new heading 0309 has come inside. Now, what did they do? You will first read the reason. Clarification on classification of flour, meals and pellets in chapter 3. So they have brought in a chapter note, corresponding chapter note. So you see yogurt. Earlier there was a confusion. Where do we keep yogurt? Because yogurt there is a flavored yogurt. You all go to the shop and you will get this. Is it a food product? Because we are consuming, no? Can we put this under 21? Is it a food product? Where do we classify? So they said yogurt, in our context, when I write yogurt, I put H. But in WCO, they don't put, so I learned H is not the right word, it seems. So yogurt. Yogurt, they retained the essential character of yogurt and they reworded it in 0403. Correspondingly, they brought in a new note, note 2 to chapter 4. We have seen that. Renumbering this 20403, which means what they are saying is specifically they brought in a heading called yogurt. So now if you import yogurt, you have no confusion. Straight away you can go. Earlier there was a confusion whether to put it as yogurt or put it as a food product. You know, a lot of preservatives were also added to it. Okay. This is getting very popular. Remember, before I move in, I mentioned a few names. You write it down. Number 1, chapter notes, sorry, section notes, chapter notes. I don't see you writing. Electronically or typing. Section notes, chapter notes, very clearly to understand. Then under that, what is the third one which I said? Section notes, chapter notes, then
Heading.
anyone can compliment?
Heading.
Heading.
Subheading notes.
Sub-chapter.
No, don't use the word subheading notes. And then supplementary notes or directive notes or conclusive notes. I'll tell you the meaning. Now it has come in. So remember, when you open a tariff, when you see chapter notes will be there. For example, if you have a tariff with you, please open 85 chapter. You will see all the things there. Chapter notes will be there. Section notes will 84 by section notes will be there. Chapter notes will be there. Subheading notes will be there. Subheading notes ka niche you will also have directive notes. Yeah, supplementary notes will be there. So what it means, that's what I'm going to demonstrate to you here. Microbials, oils is a directive notes which is brought in. Okay, rewording 15 and 15-16 to cover also microbial fat. Microbial, you're all aware, no? It's a fungus kind of a thing. A fungi. I think in Tamil they say kadal pasi in Tamil. Okay, there is something which is spirulina, spirulina. You might be getting it from the shops. It's very famous. And they say it's a kind of an oil extract which contains fatty acid. It's very good for health. So people are just buying this. The trade is just going up. So what they have done, they created a new heading and they said all this will stay under this heading. So it is kind of a directive notes has been made here under section 3 of chapter 15. So this particular item now can never go out of this because it's like a directive. They are giving the community smokes. Okay. Now, most of the people, they were contemplating whether to use cigarette or to how to get rid of cigarette. So what they are using alternatives for cigarette, can you just name Tej or Neerav? Electronic cigarettes.
Nicotine.
Nicotine patches,
etc. So where do we classify nicotine patches? If there is a nicotine added, it can never go to 85. It should stay here. So WCO has already given this ruling. So what they said is they added a new note to chapter note 2 and note 3 to chapter 24. So any product, I've just reproduced it, any product classified in heading 2404 and any other heading of, can you read it? It'll be 1 minute, I'll just minimize this. Yeah. For the purpose of heading, the expression inhalation without combustion means inhalation through heated delivery and other means without combustion. So this note came inside. Whenever you see a note which is directing, which has legal sanctity, which means you got a legal backing for that. If the same note is there in explanatory notes, HSN explanatory notes, it is not having legal backing, it is having persuasive value. So for example, when you take a matter to the court and say HSN has this, explanatory notes has this, courts will consider, but it is not legal. So this time what they have done, they brought, this is new note. They have also brought in certain new things, which I will show you in the coming slides. So now the tobacco nicotine product, it is looking like this with a new heading: contains tobacco or reconstituted tobacco, others containing nicotine. Okay. So what clarity we got it here is this 8543 is very clear for us. Electronic cigarette, which does not have the cartridge, only vaporizing. So which means it will only give you the feel, no tobacco. It's only an electronic device, will go to 8543. If it is with the cartridge, with tobacco, nicotine, it will stay here in 24 itself. Okay. So this is how the amendments have been done. All right. Okay. Till now, any doubts, my friends?
No, sir.
No? Oh, very good. Clear, no? All right. Now we'll go to the next one. Montreal Protocol and Kigali Amendments. Now, if the moment I say Montreal, all of you will know ozone substance. There is a big cry and they wanted to have a control. So brokers needs to understand one thing. What is this convention has to do with an amendment and what is that to do with me and you? Please remember, in the past, if these things are not specifically put in the tariff, you will classify it under others and you will escape. You know, one of the biggest setback, I'm taking the liberty to share because you are our community people. We are not able to successfully negotiate free trade agreements with other countries. Why? We don't have data, good data. Other countries will come and say, see, I have given you this much exemptions. These much things have been exported to your country. Vis-a-vis that we do not have data to substantiate the trade deficit. You know, that's one of the perennial problem that we have. Why? Because the tariff, everybody are putting it under others. You remember in 2020 or 2019, Mr. Piyush Goyal brought in some DGFT amendment. I forgot the number of that notification and all. It came on 17th of January, then subsequently on February, they gave a cutoff time. Please reclassify your items. No, do not classify it and others. Tej and Nirav, do you recall this before COVID? Hello, you can say
No,
yes or no.
No, sir.
It was 2019 February, Joshua. So
No, it was supposed to be taking effect in on or before. If you do not do that, then I will be
yes,
stopped.
and then it first it was issued then, and then it went on to 6 to 8 months. They had collated data across the country from customs formation, and in fact, CBIC was very correctly had put it forward in one of the meetings that others category people do not classify out of their choice, but it is due to non-availability of specific headings that one is supposed to file under others category.
Absolutely right, Dushyant. Absolutely right. So for that reason, he was pushing, because unless you do not classify it correctly and everything goes in others, what will they go and negotiate? So what they have done is, at least because we have a commitment, what did we do? Trade control, monitor, because people are putting it in others and they're escaping it. This is going to be a very interesting thing, and please follow me closely. I'm going to reduce my tempo very slowly because there is some very technically important matters are here. So trade control is very important. So whatever items which we have committed, now we have created 2903 41 to, this is blocking, 41 to 59. Okay, so new subheadings have been created. Why? It is because of that we are going to see. Now, this another heading in chapter 38, a new heading 3827.
3024.
3827, 11 to 3827, 90. So please open your tariff in your right hand, not now, since you are going to have this presentation later. Have it, open it and see both. Now I am going to read that mixtures containing halogenated derivatives of methane, ethane, propane, not elsewhere specified, will go under 38 chapter. Okay, as a customs broker, a residual heading is for a cakewalk for you. Anywhere if it is more than a mixture, you will classify it here. What is 29 chapter? Organic chemicals. Okay, very clearly we have a directive. Okay, I'm coming to that. Now you read this note also, then we will go. I don't know whether you'll be able to grasp. Tej, can you please read note 4? It's a directive note.
New note. new note 4 to section 6, directive note 4. When a product answers to a description in one or more of the headings in section 6 by virtue of being described by name or by function and also to heading 3827, then it is classifiable in a heading that references the product by name or function and not under heading 3827.
Okay. If any of you are a student of classification attending this session, antennas will go up. What? If you are not doing classification, if you are not, classification can be done in two ways. Okay, yellow pages classification, everybody does. Going and opening and putting. When I say classification, the methodological classification, the one who has a dominance in G, RI or GIR, whatever you call it as, the one who knows how to classification. When such person reads this, his eyes will go wide. What? There is a contradiction. What are you saying, man? Because exclusion note in every chapter, which excludes when there is a mixture. And here they're saying it will not be into the mixture. Okay, I just for your understanding, I remember. Okay, read this. I think the interchange. Read this slide. This will help you. Tej, you yourself read. Note 1 to chapter 99 will lay down only. I'm reading slowly. All of you, you can also verbalize it. You can also open your mouth and read it with me. Even if you don't understand, I'm going to explain. You will be opening your tariff and you will be enjoying this. Note 1, that is chapter note in 29th chapter, will lay down only separately defined compound can remain under 29. Okay, it is very clearly known to everyone. If it is a compound which is separated, it will remain under 21. It is not a new news for you all. On the same chapter, note 3 says, even now, this is the note 3 which is inserted. They just read it. Even it is a mixture, it can remain under chapter 29. This is an exception to note 1. Tej, you are able to follow me?
Yes, sir.
Note 1 will always send you out. Mixture, don't come here, go to 38. Okay. But here they have inserted a new note with the legal backing. It says, even if it is a mixture, it will remain under 29. So this is an exception to note 1. Here, you cannot apply GAR 3B. What is GAR 3B?
General interpretive rules.
So you can't apply and take it again back to 3827 because GAR 1 restricting you because of note 3. Okay, I'm going slow because I'm going to try and communicate a concept to you. I used one word called directive. Because there was a word directive, clearly they said, now you cannot go back to 38, you stay here. Even if it is a mixture, stay here. Now, nobody to their advantage can take GAR 3B and say, I will go to 38. You cannot. Why? GAR, at your whims and fancies, you cannot choose the rule. You have to follow sequentially. So first you need to satisfy rule 1 of GAR. If you can't satisfy GAR 1, you can't come to 3B. GAR 1 kicks you out. Don't come here because you already have a note 3, directive notes in chapter 29. That is self-explanatory. Unless the chapter note do not otherwise require, you come here. Since here the chapter note requires you to stay in chapter 29, don't come here. Is this clear to you? I don't mind repeating it one more time, but you will enjoy. Is this clear to you? First of all, layman language, Nirav?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If I ask you to reproduce, will you be able to do it?
I can try.
You can try. On behalf of audience, just try. Just give it a shot. Nothing wrong right here. Just give it a try. Then you will understand your other amendments in that line. Yeah.
Sir, basically, the chapter note is giving the information in note 1 and note 3, and then as you had mentioned earlier too with GIR. So as long as these chapter notes are covering the aspects, GIR, you did not reach up to the GIR, and here it is clearly saying that, GIR anyways, even if you refer to it, it is throwing you back to remain under the same chapter.
Absolutely right, Nirav. If you are there in front of me, I would have given you a clap. Very good. Very good. Well done. Wonderful audience, wonderful audience. Very good. So you are gearing up. So read this and open the note and see, my goodness, 29 kicks me out. But again, he's telling note 3, you stay here. When I'm staying here, it becomes a directive note. When it becomes a directive note, I cannot go back to GR 3B. Oh, very good. So that's how you need to enjoy reading it. Okay, very good.
Sir, there is one person who's asking for an example of this. Could you give an example?
He can't speak, no? Okay, what example this? Can you just tell me?
It says, please give us an example.
I'm giving an example. Example of what? You tell me. What is your understanding? What example you want? I'm willing to.
No, I have understood.
No, what example you think you can give, or I need to give? You tell me. I will give it.
No, about how. So an example of a product that should fall out of the chapter, but because of chapter note 3 is staying in the chapter. I think the example was there on the previous slide already.
No, this one you're talking about?
Yeah.
This is basically what they're saying is, even if it is a mixture, don't take it to 38, where there is a correct heading where the most second heading is 38 chapter, but don't take it there because I am holding you back with this new note. Stay here, don't go out. That's it, finished. All right, diagnostics and reagents kits. Okay. Now this is very, very important because reagents and kits based on antibodies. This has been moved out from 3002 to 3822 just for the sake of uniformity. Blood grouping reagents. I've covered the same thing in some elsewhere also. So if you see 3822, they brought in a new heading under which they brought all these things, ELISA kits, all this testing kits, everything is now coming. So it is no more in 30, it is moved to 38. So it's joined only for that logic. Okay, separate heading on the diagnostics. Electronic textiles. It's a technology evolution. It's a new evolution. Some of you I'm sure know, but I don't know till the time I read it. I will tell you my ignorance. When I was typing it, when I did electronic textile, is there a typing mistake? To that extent, I thought about it because I cannot correlate electronic textile. How this will come? I was such a dumb. And later on, I understood what is electronic. I saw some examples, then I understood, and I'm putting it. So they brought in a new note to section 11. Okay, Niro, please read the note carefully. Note subject to note 1. That means notwithstanding to note 1. Always remember, every note 1 is no entry board. Don't come here. How you should understand, just for the sake of this GAR, all these technical words, you will not remember. You have a big 1 acre land. And you have a compound wall. That compound wall, you can substitute that compound wall as section notes. Okay. When you enter into the compound, there is a gate and there is a display. If you are without mask, do not come here. If you are less than 18 years, do not come here. Some displays are there. That is note 1. Notwithstanding to note 1, subject to note 1, which means these people cannot come inside section 11. Okay, that is the note 1 for you to understand. Likewise, when you go inside, you have independent bungalow, that is known as chapter. So independent bungalow will have a note at the gate. So and so only can come inside. So and so cannot come inside. So chapter note 1 also is going to be an exclusion note. Then once you go inside, then that is headings, subheadings, and tariff items. All right. Now coming back, please read it. Subject to note 1 to section 11, textile garments and other textile articles incorporating chemical. Textile garments incorporating chemical, understood, mechanical or electronic components for additional functionality, whether incorporated as built-in components or with the fiber or fabric, are classified in the respective heading in section 11, provided that they retain the essential character of goods. So what was the confusion? The moment a shirt is embedded with these kind of circuits. So when you see sunlight, when sunlight flashes on your shirt, automatically it gets recharges. Your mobile will get recharged. So confusion was prevailing whether to treat this as solar. Had this note is not there, if I am a person to do classification, I would have moved this item to solar. I will never keep it in textile because it just meets the criteria of classification. It will go to solar. Because of this note, I am now forced to stay here. Is this clear? So electronic textiles have new LED lightings have come in. Speakers are also inbuilt. Heating, when you put some shirts and you go out, it absorbs heat. And then when you are moving into a cold area, it just radiates the heat. Telephone ports also there. So many innovations have come. So the new articles and new electronic devices have been incorporated. Okay. How are we doing on time? Should we go fast or we'll skip some? Basically what you need to understand, the same principles there for 3D printing. Okay, the new Note 10 has been inserted. Okay, because there is an additive required for manufacturing. Everybody knows what is 3D printing, right? So you need certain additives to manufacture. So they brought in a machine. So that is very, very important. Anyone who are good, and I'm asking audience stage, you can help me. Can you see this heading? Is it new or old? Can anyone tell me? Which means in the earlier tariff, is it kept empty or is it a new entry? Can anyone give me an answer?
Come on, the audience. Would you
Not
like to?
all.
It's old. It's old.
Okay. So what is there? What was there in the old and what is not here? Anybody can make out that? Okay. For the benefit of time, this is blank. In the last tariff, somebody said it's old. No, it is not old. 8480. It was kept blank.
84, and then there was 8486.
Correct. So that's why I said anybody who got a familiarity in 84 chapter would have told immediately, no, 84, 85, it was kept blank. Okay, now I'm giving a question to all of you. Question, okay. All 376 participants, you need to answer in the chat box. No prizes will be given, but your name will be announced for the entire audience. Apart from this, what is one more heading was kept blank in the last 5 years? What is that heading? Except managing committee members and my students, please don't answer. Okay, because you know the answer. And other than that, all 300 plus people, please answer. Oh my God, I have shown you the answer also quickly. Okay, I'll make it blank. All right, please, Tej, go ahead. I'll give you 10 seconds. Except this heading, which you said it's blank. Likewise, there is another heading kept blank last 5 years. And that is a very, very interesting heading. You can't miss that because so many debates that happened, but it was kept blank. Let us see who is my broker friend can able to crack this. Your time starts now.
I think many are answering chapters, but you have to answer the heading. 77 chapter was the chapter.
No, not chapter. I am in the same heading. So please answer the 4-digit heading. 4-digit heading in 84 only. I'm giving a cue. Don't go anywhere else. In 84 only. I'm sorry, 85. We are in 85 now.
Yeah.
I blanked my screen. Wait. That is okay. 85, 48. So many people are putting 77. No, don't go to 77. Okay, 10 seconds is up. So I'm going to go back. I thought I can announce that name if somebody is hitting me correctly. Okay, I will give you one thing. Let me see with the participant 80. Hey, wait. You have come close. Okay, I'll give you one tips quickly. Next 10 seconds, somebody needs to answer. Software. My goodness, you can't miss it. 71. No. Software.
85-24.
Who said it?
Bandari.
Mr. Bandari, you are not authorized to speak. Okay, very good.
not supposed to.
Okay, so we'll discount. I think now every 85-24, everybody are putting. My goodness, everybody are putting. So I can't announce so many names: Shyam, Sujita, Feli, so many people. So anyway, I hold on for my next question because Mr. Bandari leaked out. Okay, no problem. Anyway, congratulations, Mr. Bandari. You are updated. I'm so happy about it. All right, now. Okay, we are in this heading 3D printer we have seen. Now, 85-24. Remember, 85-24 was a software heading. Last 2017, they kept it blank. It was empty. And now they brought in flat panel here. Is it very, very interesting, friends? All the while, I'm going to give some definite answers for you to speak to your clients. to make your conversation interesting. India has signed ITA agreement. ITA means Information Technology Agreement. Okay. Now, ITA agreement we have agreed that we will be giving benefits to people who are importing LCDs, who are importing plasma related or electroluminance or any other technology. This is how our ITA won in 1994. That means irrespective of technology, we will give the customs duty benefit. That was their agreement. But in practically, if you see, this is not happening. They are only giving the benefit to LCD panels. Now, those days, if you are working, you have a monitor as an output unit, ADP, which is working in conjunction with ADP. For television, whichever is having the capability to transmit with S-video composite, they don't give that benefit. They say you don't put it here, though it is a monitor, you take it out to 85. So here, this dispute is going to become a big dispute. So my recommendation is already countries like Korea, Taiwan, and so many countries have taken this matter to WTO dispute panels. So which means it is going to be disputed. All the items erstwhile classified under 9013, which were eligible for ITA benefit, has also moved in here. Okay, so which means all flat panel display has come into this one place. Now, what our government is saying, if it is working with ADP and telecommunication, not telephone, telecommunication equipment, then we will give, irrespective of technology, we will give the benefit. You can avail the benefit of 0 by applying this ITA bound notification. What is that? 25 of 2005. Okay, no doubt about 25 and 24, both ITA bound notification. But the moment if it is working with OLED, organic LED, it is also the same technology, but our government is saying no, and customs officers are saying no. So how do you counter this kind of an issue? Now, the purpose of WCO making this amendment is to resolve problem. So we have brought in everything together at one place. Very good. But our government is very stubborn and not, because we never signed the IT2 and we are very clear, we don't want to give. If it is for ADP and telecommunication, we have no problem. That was our original intent. But today's technology demands LEDs are coming in the computer. If it is LCD, no problem, we are giving. But if it is any other technology other than these purpose, we are not giving. So that is a dispute which you need to be very carefully monitoring it. And I can talk about it in length. If anyone is working in this chapter, you can speak to me privately. I will give you some inputs as to how you need to handle this and all. Okay. But definitely it's going to be a biggest change and going to be a biggest issue for our country also. We don't know how the dispute panel is going to take up this matter because okay. That's the same information. E-waste, okay, electronic e-waste. Now we have signed conventions, e-wastes are there. So electronic invention news section note has been inserted. So you should read like that. Instead of me explaining this, you all know e-waste implications, how this is being monitored currently. Okay. E-waste is also a debatable thing. What is e-waste? What is not e-waste? Because here the beauty is, if you go to hazardous goods definition, what is waste there and what this new things is talking about is very different. Because if you bring an item, if it can be refurbished further, it is no more e-waste. Can you see? Economically unsuitable for repair refurbishment, then only it is deemed to be an e-waste. If it can be repaired, can be refurbished, it can be renovated, it is not e-waste. But there is a gap in the other hazardous goods regulation. They have said it very clearly. It's a different wording which they have used, or because in the other category they had put in, even DGFT is not even giving licenses. So there's so many issues were around. If you are dealing in this kind of an item, if you are facing problem also, you can talk to me separately. All right. This is what are all included in e-waste, waste scrap, primary cells. Just a list which you can read it by yourself. Okay. Electric vehicles. This is a new amendment which has come in, which brings in a lot of clarity. Okay. Why do I say that? They have put in a very good clarity here. Earlier, like if you see the hybrid cars, because the hybrid is a technology, right? Electric vehicles is a different technology. Hybrid is a technology, because to do the propulsion of a car, that is, you might have seen a car like Ciaz, Maruti Ciaz, that is still pending in a big dispute, and Maruti is going to lose because of this amendment. Okay, and Maruti and anybody who's in this amendment, I think a leading law firm is representing this matter also in Supreme Court. Because of this, they can't, Maruti 300 crore for Ciaz itself they've issued. So what is a motor? You know, it only starts and stops, and then the compression, the IC engine will take over. Whether IC engine is an internal combustion engine, which will be driven by petrol or diesel. Whether we call it as IC engines. So you have an IC engine, you have a motor. Both, if you go and press the clutch, it will start. If you leave it, it will get stopped. So for starting, and in this one only they are using it, and they call it as hybrid. Now they cannot do it. Okay, so that has been very clearly clarified. If you are dealing any of your goods on this chapter, also we can have a separate, you can send a note to the secretariat and we can take a clue on that. Unmanned aircraft. Okay, so earlier what we were doing, it has a permanent camera inbuilt into it with a high resolution camera. So what do? It flies, but the camera value is very high. So we were thinking to put it under camera, but now that has been clarified. So there is a specific heading has been brought in here. Amendments are also there. If you're doing aircraft parts and all, you should be careful. 8803 is now 8807. The parts moved in because parts needs to go after finished goods. So this has come inside 8806. So 8807 become parts for aircraft. So earlier it was 8803. So those things you should take care of it. All right. So if you see the highlights of what we have seen, trade pattern, e-waste and Basel Convention. This is about the hazardous movement and smartphones. Now it has a specific heading 851713, a specific heading for multifunctional devices, and tobacco. We have seen unmanned. We have seen smartphones, again repeating flat panel display. We have seen major reconfiguration had happened for glasses. Okay, if it is only glasses fitted with frame, so that has been clarified. Health related thing. And this is very important in the current scenario. Place boss, you call it as place boss, okay? Because our country became, I just put in blue color and read. It's become the capital for medical tests. Our country has become the capital for medical. So there is a new provisions which they have added for clinical trial kits and medical research. Those people who are dealing with it can take a look at it. And separate subheading 3002 has been inserted for this purpose. And these are all dual-use goods. Okay, we have so many conventions, which I'm sure SCOMET, anybody following exports, import also is now governed under that. So chemical weapon conventions are there, Rotterdam conventions are there, POPs, and then INCB are there. So major changes have happened in 38 chapter, etc. for this reason. I'll show you for your understanding. Dual use, all of you are very familiar with SCOMET dual use, right? So whenever there is a dual use, that you need to have a license because it is notified in that appendix. Can somebody mute your phone, mute your this thing? There's a lot of disturbance coming. Yeah, thank you. So 28, 20, 30, 55, all these things are dual use goods has been very specifically incorporated. Please understand why this incorporation. I want to track that person who is importing it. Earlier, everything went on others. I'm not able to track. Now I'm able to track and stop in the system. So they will come to license. So that is how they're controlling it in compliance to the conventions. So these are the dual use items. High-speed television cameras, high-speed thing, radiation hardened, which you can take a look at it. These are all dual use purpose. Okay, heading 29 had this small transfer from 2911 to 2909. If any of you are dealing with that, can take a note of it. Chemical weapons, new entries because of the convention that we brought in all this specific entry for the same purpose which I've explained to you. Okay, I want to monitor and to control the trade because nobody else can sneak through other classifications because so these are all specifically brought in. Rotterdam Convention. So it's a multilateral environmental agreement covering trade in certain hazardous chemicals and pesticides. So new chemical entries 2931, 3296, 3824 has been inserted. And subheading note 1 to chapter 38 also inserted, which you can take a look at it. Then international narcotics, this is like, yeah, take a look at it. These are the items which were in 29th chapter. Because we generally say, 29, 38, a lot of amendments have happened. The reason behind it, this Program Global Shield. Anybody heard about it? Program Global Shield. You can Google and you can come to know. It's like collaborating with the police officers for illegal weapon trading. So those things are also very clearly notified here. Now they cannot put it in other items and sneak out. Diagnostics, we have already seen it. Okay, and laminated loomer and lumber, 57 carpets, textiles, fabric, shirts, blouses, 1 to 69. Okay, so these kind of changes, important changes. I think smartphone is one new definitions come 85, 17, 13, a new heading for smartphone, which is there. And note 5 to chapter 85 is also added. Okay, so these are all the this is 9013. We've already seen it. LED. Okay, practical understanding. Okay, practical understanding. I thought of giving one input to you. Okay, what do you see, Nirav, in the picture?
It's something like a tank container kind of a bottom of
What do you see
part.
page in the picture?
General rules for interpretation.
Oh, perspective changes. Okay, so for Nero, colorful things captures his mind. So immediately he says something like tank. For Tej, general rules for interpretation. All right, I had put in for those people because in this conference, some of you are familiar, some of you may not familiar. I have put in one page, my friends, one page. It is there in your Customs Tariff Act. One page contains 6 rules. If you can able to read it today, and if you can ask some of your friends and make them understand you, you have done it. It's a big success because your entire HS 2022 is governed by this one paper, this 6 rules. If God willing, we will do a separate session with a lot of case studies, a kind of a workshop later. A big ship is moving left or right based on the rudder. I just put in the bottom of a ship. Okay. So this big ship is just moving with a small rudder. However, you can have a nasty understanding about the tariff in and out. But if you don't understand GIR, the simple 6 rules, you will also make the same mistakes what customs officers are making currently. So never get into that. And it is serious. There is no option for you. Okay, I will read it tomorrow. No, do it today. Read it, write it. If you don't understand, ask your executive members. There are experts like Tej and all, they will be explaining to you and get it ratified, clarified through them. Okay. Recommended suggestions for brokers. What are the recommended? I am no one to recommend you because you know better than me, but still what I thought I can just put a thought to you. Since you patiently attended 1 hour, I'm sure attending seminar is a time pass for many people. They just log in and they put mute and they do their work. Okay, but I don't know. These people must have taken time and you have spared it. Recently, I see the learning curve is increasing. People are asking questions. Where will I find this? Which website I need to go? Which book I need to read? This new generations are coming and asking questions like this, which means leaders, when you call yourself leaders, seniors, you should be in a position to guide them. The same thing is happening with importers, the 2nd generation business, 3rd generation importers, exporters. They have no clue where to read, what to read. Everyone are waiting for forward messages, WhatsApp or some consulting company, some law firms with subtle notion. They will be just putting few lines and they'll say for further details, contact us because they want business. Everything has become commercial. But what is missing is I'm just taking both my hands, putting like this, and I'm asking, please, for heaven's sake, don't miss this opportunity. Last year, January, I did a seminar to all of you on advanced ruling. I have given a lot of insights to you, and I've told them, you people supposed to be guiding on advanced ruling. Today, you are too busy in COVID transactions. Business has gone to consultants. Each consultants are filing on an average per month 30-40 advanced rulings. 30-40 advanced ruling. And they are charging per drafting 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs. Per drafting. The capabilities with you, customs broker, the mighty warriors, you missed it. Amendments have come in. You missed it. Again, again, don't make this mistake because opportunity doesn't come always. Okay. So what you need to do, check thoroughly the correlation table of all your products. Now you know how to do correlation. You cannot say that I don't know how to do correlation. Okay. We took examples. We took time to explain you. Then read section notes. I am not asking you to open from chapter 1 to your chapter. Boss, if you are dealing with 84th chapter, you should be knowing at least 84th chapter. There, if you say, Merko pata nahi, then you are unfit to be the business. I'm telling you honestly on your face, whoever it may be. You may be a owner, you may be a CEO, you may be a second generation owner, you may have filthy money, but you can claim yourself as a logistics operator. That's okay. But if you say this customs broker, that's a powerhouse. You are unfit if you are not willing to put yourself here. Okay. 2, if you don't know, people are there to guide you. But if you're not coming forward and reading it, and if you're still having the complacency and lackluster culture, it is enough. If you don't wake up now, there is no chance for you to wake up. Okay. All right. Somebody else will run over you. 3rd, check all the subheadings and tariff headings relevant to your product. If you have time, read other interesting products also. Because if you read other interesting products, then you can engage with new customers. For example, you don't do cell phones, you don't do 85 chapter. Read. When you meet some customers, you will be able to talk to them. Read the compendium of classification decision. Go to WCO website I've already given. Compendium of classification decisions are there. Explanatory note amendments are there. If you don't read, or more important, the blue one, read the classification decision of HS Committee 68. It is published in 19 itself. Please read it. You know, beautifully they'll put a picture. They will say why they are doing it, which rule they are applying it, why they are rejecting it. So beautifully it will be there. So be a master of all those things. Once you start this culture, you will continue this because more and more products are going to get evolved, which means today it is 3. I'm telling you, like prophetically with a little discernment, I'm just making statement. I may be wrong or right. The next 5 years, you will see 1,000+ products are coming into this tariff. How much? 1,000+. And it's going to be electronically merging. Okay. For post 5G, there are a lot of ideas are there. You know, you don't need a time like this to do a seminar. There will be change automatically. Everything will get synced and you will miss the bus. So this is the last opportunity you have in this planet Earth to read and understand. Going forward, there is no room for you. Nobody even bothered to ask you what changes because everything is auto sync. All right. I'm giving a heads up on record and you will never think, okay, after 5 years, I will read it and come and do this. So please read this and then ask for the updated master list from your client and then check. That is a beautiful opportunity. Look, there are 2 ways you can do it. If you think that you have confidence, ask for a master list with the consideration. I put in a word consideration. Never practice anything without taking money. If you put money, take money. Let it be 1 rupee, but you need to have. Don't do free service in the name of value added service. That's gone. Okay. So if you do this, one client, do it free, learn it, and then you do it for the remaining clients. You will be a powerhouse on classification. Remember that photograph which I've showed, 3 pillars. Take a printout and put. You need to be working in parallel with all the pillars. It's not one. 2022, I'll work in HSN, then I will go. In parallel, you need to move forward. You know, join some courses. I heard that there are a lot of people in this learned people are all now putting up some courses, having some good faculties and teaching online. You don't need to travel, learn from them as well. All right. Absolving you from any liabilities. First and foremost thing, you know, the questions they're saying, importer is saying, I have not claimed an exemption correctly. Now he is going and telling customs, no, Merko pata nahi, it is a CHA mistake. Hello. You need to, if somebody is making and getting angry, you know, you need to bounce back on them right royally and say the responsibility is with you. You are only a co-responsible person. The importers are 100% responsible for every information goes, and they cannot shy away from their responsibility on self-assessment, which means you're only assisting them. Okay, you are responsible, but they cannot shy away from their responsibility. So how do you do that? Now, post this, with all these implications, redraft your agreement. Don't go and say that, okay, if I redraft and I put this clause, they will reject. Be firm and say, if you want to add this stringent clause, I'm accepting. You see, when you go to customs, give a bond or bank guarantee. Okay, what banks do, the unconditional bank guarantees have lesser rate of interest. The conditional bank guarantees have higher rate of interest. So always importers will try to push this. Post that Punjab Haryana judgment, customs lost a few crores. So they were very particular about putting a condition. Now banks are putting the condition and charging higher. Why can't you do that? If they put a condition, if they say that it is your responsibility, accept it with the cost, with the service. Okay. Training should be part of every month or at a particular frequency. Create a habit of reading in group, because I alone cannot read and understand. I need partners. I do that. You know, for young people, I teach them. Likewise, you can teach your subordinates. You can help your importers, by which your familiarity on the subject will be ground rooted. So these are the few suggestions which I have, and I hope I have communicated with you, and you who have received it. I'm sure. Thank you so much for my audience, Tej and Nirav. They played a very good role on your behalf. I think digest this information, start speaking maturely. The questions should be rationalized. Don't ask silly questions, because you are already lagging. You need to run ahead and catch up. A lot of efforts are required. So think and ask questions, think and take decisions, and do well and come up to great heights, mighty warriors. I wish you all a very happy and prosperous New Year. Thank you so much. Over to the panel members. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joshua sir, for such a wonderful presentation and explaining in your, in the way that you are the best, in the way it is, and all our members, all the participants, more than 350 of them are glued to their screen. We are still having the same number of participants here, and I'm sure everyone has benefited way about this important topic today. I would now ask Mr. Hiren Ruparel, Mr. Dushyant Mulani to moderate any questions that we have from the members. Of course, I don't see many questions though here, but if any of the panelists would like to have any questions here, may please go ahead.
Hiren, start. If you have any questions.
Yeah, Hiren bhai.
Yeah, Joshua sir, thanks. Always a fight with customs that calcium gluconate is classified into 2916 and coated one is classified into chapter 38. The debate is always same, that the calcium gluconate remains calcium gluconate only. It is coated. The nature of calcium gluconate doesn't change. How do we take it that?
Sir, I am also aware about it vaguely. 29, 18, 16, 10
Yes.
May, people used
Yes,
to
yes.
put it, and
29, 16.
28, 22, May they put it. I will, because you can't expect me like an expert to give you an answer. Okay, I will definitely communicate back to you with an answer offline for this question. Okay, surely I will come back to you.
It was just because now what we are, where are we right now? Because certain products which we have, as discussed in this newly implemented, certain products, there's chapter 19, preparation of starch. It was covered under chapter 19. Now it has been classified into two, 04 and 16. So 2933 compounds. It has been classified into now new RHS. 6 categories it has been divided. So we will have to gear up. This is, yes, definitely. But
okay, sir, one minute. I'll just show you something. Okay, I'll show you something. You will have answer here. For example, look at my screen. My screen. Okay. You're able to see my screen, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So this document is classification decisions on HS committee 68 session. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you see here, every item that what you are asking about, so for example, nicotine packs, this is the HS code,
Yeah.
24 and 38, okay, and GIR 1 and 6. So because of this, it's staying here, and they have discussed it very clearly. So here you will find the answer for your product, for everything, essential, single. So all your learnings can come from here. So I'm going to flash this link to all the members in the chat box, okay. Maybe you should also see your product and you will have answers from here. Okay, so this is one. Okay, number two. Wait a minute. This tariff and all you already have it. Okay, fine. I think that will give you some better understanding for answering to specific questions like this kind of products. Okay. So we can take some questions here if it is generic in understanding. If you have any challenges, we will talk. Definitely, sir. You can talk to me privately. We will find an answer.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And read that link I have shared, which will be very helpful. Not only this product, for everyone. You know, see, I have read, and I'm coming and talking to you. If you read, you will be able to talk to your.
Absolutely.
friends.
Absolutely.
Just read. That's it, absolutely. And WCU has very clearly mentioned how they have done it also. And there, if you have a doubt, you ask me, I will be able to support you, sir. Okay. Yeah, please. Next.
Joshua, also, one of the important aspects which you have touched base is how a broker should go through each and every step-by-step document to ensure classification. In our earlier addresses, we have requested members to have a master list of the importers' products with corresponding custom tariff heading, BCD, IGST applicable schedule with non-tariff barriers. Because way now PCA post-clearance audit more than any other department is coming back with consultative memos and the less charge. It would be prudent that a few words of wisdom from your side to members in that segment would surely help. And as far as the live clearances are concerned, important aspect is again justifying unilateral changing of classifications by the department officers under faceless. That has become another important point of difference which is arising. And lastly, there is an inherent skepticism built up in the fraternity. That you classify something in a particular city, a rate of duty is 7.5%, but officer changes it to 15%, and they come forward and convey that no, fine and penalty would be levied because your 7.5% has become 15%. So there will be adjudication. This is a mindset which is now building up with new breed of officers. We are addressing it with CBIC also. So few words of wisdom on these aspects very briefly would surely help the gathering.
Sure. You have put a lot of questions. See, my response to this is very clear, boss. If I do not know the law, somebody else will take me for a ride. My practical experience. Okay, it's as simple as that. If I know the law, I will be able to stand and speak and counter, and I will never move. And the other person will know this will not fly with this person, and he will budge. So the other side also, in my experience, I'm saying all these new customs officers who came from NASEN 2 years, 3 years, 5 years experience, they are also lacking information. They also wanted to know. So you tell me, because recently I have dealt mobile companies a SIM card tray issue where it was classified under 73. Customs officer wanted to put it under 8528. So we used logics. We used rationals. We brought in and produced nothing else. We just came and said, this is what it says. This is what it says. Your decision is wrong. It will not stand in the court. He never acknowledged it. No, what option we have? We cannot do anything. In this scenario, he says, no, I will issue O-in-O. Now, I have knowledge, but I'm not able to convince the officer. Maybe, whatever may be. Note has come, adjudicated. And I took this matter and I filed an appeal and it is going on. That is a curse of our system in the current scenario. There are officers who can understand and see, I'm being an external person from the system, but you brokers are dealing day in and day out. My only thing is today, if we know how to counter him, if BCBA can able to take some efforts in educating your people, how, there are only simple 3 things you can learn, boss. Before clearance, what all the precautionary thing that I can do? Only one tool which is available, which is in your hand, advance ruling for your importer to file. There is a cost involved. So no importers are going in or not many are aware about advance ruling. Fine. During the clearance, what benefit you have? AEO. Post clearance, you have post audit benefits. So 3 things are 3 different elements. Now your problem comes first as a broker, or first problem comes customs officer changing the classification arbitrarily. Now, how can he change the classification? There is no mechanism. How can he change? So there is a method in which, so you need to give him in writing saying that I don't accept. So still if he does it, you can protest it and you can move forward because there is a delay. You can't bond the goods. There is a demurrage is also there. So this is our system. Had it been in another country, this kind of an advance rulings are very prevalent and they wanted to avoid this kind of things. In our country, we are just moving towards it. It may take some time. Post clearance audit may, there are some notices are being given. The idea is that 2 decisions you need to make. If it is wrong, if post clearance audits are making an observation, what kind of observation? In GS Auto, I've given you a very classic example. Nuts and bolts will be classified under the respective heading globally, 7326, very globally. 1900s may, there is no such concept, the central excise may. What did they do? They took a master list and they approved it. Customs officer is not doing that currently. Central excise officer, they used to do. A master list will be approved time to time by manufacturers. Bill filed, they were clearing it. At a point, the matter went to Supreme Court because there was a dispute whether to put it as parts of automobile under 8708 or to classify it as 7316. That was a dispute. And finally, when the matter reached Supreme Court made, there is no pleaders to go and give the principles of HSN. It is purely driven by excise. To get an entry into 87, you need to overcome section note 1, and then only you can come inside. Directly you cannot come to C. They have come in. They are not able to treat parts of general use, which definitely has an exclusion note. Chapter section 15 very clearly talks about these are all parts of general use. They construed it to be a general purpose part. General purpose part, it's a new definition, which they construed it. And they gave a verdict, which was settled in 2003. Now, no officers in customs touched this. Okay. 2003 to, the matter belongs to 90s. 2003 to 2017, everybody was sleeping. 2017, GST came, 87 chapter, CVD has become 28%. So all the officers said, GS Auto, Supreme Court has already ruled it. So we will now tell all the teams to move to this chapter. Happened and nobody there to counter it. This was followed, the same mistake was followed in Saxby. That's how the court systems are doing it. But Saxby, nobody's implementing it. Even customs officer knows that is wrong. Nobody's implementing it as of today. So the idea is litigation in this country is not the solution. Our community needs to move in 2 things. Maximum check the classifications as if that you have a lens like a customs officer. Use the judgments and the other jurisprudence which is currently available in the internet and suggest your importer to change. Because of FTA, we have so many issues now. Also, you will have so many issues because the items which is moved out, went down, whether it is available. So it is an important month for you to revalidation of classification, irrespective of 1 item or 2 item FTA or EPCG, advance authorization letter or any amendments which has come in or not. you have opportunities on the consulting side to approach the importer and revalidate all their HS. By doing it, you will be able to sink 90% and 10% that will be a problem which we can address. Post clearance audit, when it happens, because the TBA is now when it comes, we will consultative notice, whatever comes, we'll face it. That is their understanding. We cannot say no to them. We cannot say, because they also have a target. All these officers saying we have a team, we have a target, somehow we need to do it, to use our intelligence and to get it. So they are also actively involved. So it is a business opportunity for custom brokers to cater the importers community to solve these kind of litigations. If everything is smoothened, no PCA, no issues in customs, then probably our life will become very boring. Okay, so it is quite spicy now. Only thing we know how to handle that. That's the only thing which we need to learn, and let's go with this team. This is my take without any prejudice. I may be wrong. I stand corrected. If you can give some different perspective to it. Thank you, Dushyant.
Thank you. I think Mr. Kode wanted to add something. So, Mr. Kode, would you want to add something?
Yes, sir. Good evening, Joshua, sir. Ganpat Kode here from BCBA.
Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar. Sir, one of the incident with many members had happened in the past. Some one of the items like chemicals, orthochloropolyone, M-cresol, it is classifiable under the 29 chapter. And there is a condition, it should be the priority up to the 85%. And regularly we are clearing the same item in under 29. And 2014, what happened? Some doc objection has taken, and they have given that the item should be covered under the 2703. Here is a duty is 10% that time. Goods has been adjudicated, penalty has been given, and there clearly says that goods should be classified in under 2703. Then we have started the claim the same thing under clear to 2703. Now what happened? 2019. The duty is coming 2.5% on 2787, and 29 it is go up to the 7 and 5%. So objection from the audit and some objection from the docs it has come. They are trying to say that the goods to be classified under 29, which is the duty is 7.5%. It is clearly means some documents are there, all the documents are there, but now they are testing to classify the goods under 29. How it means here? How it go ahead?
So this kind of inconsistency prevails in the system. Okay, since you have mentioned about this product, you can mail me the details. By 6 o'clock, we can have a call, and I will explain you what is to be done, how we can take it forward, what response that we can give. Yes. Because we'll avoid specific questions. We'll avoid in this forum. It may not be relevant to the rest of the participants. For that, I'm humbly requesting specifics. You write to me, talk to me. We will find a solution to that. Generally,
I think point well noted. Thank you for input from everybody. So, anything from any of the panelists? Any points? So otherwise, we can ask request our Honorary Secretary, Mr. Paresh Thakkarji, to take it. Yeah, please.
Sir, can we just take one question common which is there from the audience? It's basically a question. Which, I mean, there are 3-4 questions, but let me combine it into one before we can, end the session. That is to Mr. Joshua about members have been asking about when the the certificate of origins have been issued or certain licenses have been issued prior to 31st December, and now when the bill of entry is going to be filed in the current year. So what scenario comes in such a situation and how to tackle it?
Sir, one, this is legal, which has come into force. Okay, if this heading or subheading it is not there, which means customs officer cannot give you the benefit. A necessary amendment should have been taken. So 2 options as a broker that you can suggest. One, you can issue a PD, give a PD bond pending amendments awaited from the government. And once the amendment has come, you can clear it. As simple as that. If they say, no, system may that we have a problem, if this heading is not matching, we will not give the benefit, ask for a manual filing. And file a manual bill of entry, get this assessed, give a PD undertaking. It is their inefficiency. They should have taken care. If they have not done it, but still you need to clear it, you can't be waiting for that. So give a letter, and I'm sure government will be addressing those kind of things to be read. Because see, one thing you need to understand, Jain Engineering very clearly says, even though the HS code, please note all of this, very important. Okay, even though the HS code is different, let's change, let's say 2903 to 2904 or 38. HS code is different. As long as the descriptions are matching, you have to get the benefit. Supreme Court has ruled it. Cite that and move forward. There won't be any problem. Is this clear?
Yes. Noted, sir.
You don't need to
Absolutely.
go and give PT bond and waste your time and give. Show the Supreme Court judgment, Jain Engineering, and finished. So that's how we need to move forward. So if your members are having any specific questions like that, let them reroute to it. We can help them in drafting a letter, citing all the provisions and submit it to the customs. That's how we can move it. It's not your problem. It's not your problem. And precedents have already set. So we can follow that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Joshua, sir. Thank you
Yes,
for addressing.
Jain Engineering. I don't remember the citation. You can just check in your Arcus Excus Jain Engineering. You will get it. I'll text the citation to Dushyant later. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. You've been a wonderful audience. I must thank Nirav and Tej for supporting me. Thank you, Sanjeev sir, Kiran sir, for inviting me to speak. Vinayak, I'm meeting you after a long time.
Welcome, sir.
Dushyant, thank you so much. And all the participants, wish you all the best and have a wonderful year ahead. Hope we'll meet soon. Kiran sir as well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Joshua.
I would thank you, Joshua, sir. I would now ask Paresh Ji, Paresh Takara, Honorable Secretary, to give the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Nirav. Thank you, Joshua sir, for highlighting us on this current and very important topic which has come up of HSN classification. The major take home for our members, as you rightly said in the opening remarks, if we are not updated and if we are not able to guide our clients, then there are people in this industry who are waiting for this opportunity and make good fortune out of it. So yes, we take a clue from it, and I'm sure our members will definitely take it in a positive sense by guiding themselves first and then guiding the customers, so that we are not held up in future, because this particular amendment has just come in place, and whatever compliances and complications would be in the future. So it's better that we first get ourselves guided. And I thank you for the wonderful presentation and in-depth analysis that you have presented on this classification. I'm sure our members will have 100% benefited out of it. I would also thank our president for conceptualizing this entire webinar, my colleagues in the managing committee for supporting this, and of course the participants, because till now we have overshooted our webinar by 40 minutes and the presence is yet 250 plus. So this shows how important it was. So I request all the participants who have participated in webinar, I thank you, and also would request you to kindly participate in this same large numbers in the future seminars and the webinars which are going to be conducted by your association, which will be benefit to you only. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Good.
Thank you, Joshua.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joshua,
Thank
sir.
you.